And it's like, you're messaging me, but then you're calling me Voldemort 3 weeks later. So then I message her privately and I say, why did you call me Voldemort? And she said, well, it's not really necessarily just about the Emaru stuff. And I said, well, then what is it possibly about where you're willing to say someone that you should not name to the point where if you name me, you could die? And you're pandering to that with your audience. And she said, it's just the way you've been acting for the past few months. You're just always so negative and you're talking about your stuff. We've all moved on, bro. Why don't you? I swear to God. Like, you're telling me that you moved on from me saying I'm a rapist, abuser, stalker, but I wonder why you can move on when you have nothing to do with it. And I said, you want to know why I can't move on? Because people like you call me Voldemort on your streams. And then I say something to you, and then you tell me to move on. How does that make any sense? You started this, and then you expect me to not respond. Like, I didn't start any of this, and you expect me to never respond. Every time. It's always Ms. Move on. Forget that it happened. But you can call me Voldemort and say, ew, don't ever talk about that guy. Gross. Just move on. We've all moved on from it already. Like, you're one of the most talented content creators. You're so smart and you know what you're doing with this stuff. Like, it's just sad to see you act like this. Like, do you not think that I should talk about the people that have been called me a rapist and say how they're lying and they're wrong? I'm trying too hard. Then she tried to say that, like, we're not friends. Because I'm like, it's kind of up that you and I, you know, streamers, none of us are friends. And I'm like, so you're telling me that everyone that you interact with, you would go to Peach Stars right now and tell her you're not their friend. You would go to all these people and tell them you're not their friend. Was that I thought we were friends. I've hung out with you dozens of times off stream. In fact, you own a piece of my gym. And on top of that, I was there for you when you had a serious stalker problem. And I actually cared to come to you for that off stream. I sat with you for hours at a Starbucks to make sure you're okay. I drove home, and I never talked about this on stream. I drove home to make sure she was safe. I then called her on the way back to make sure she was safe and she felt safe. I did all that for her. Spent my whole day doing it because I cared. You don't need to use my stalker from a year ago in this. Only difference is they wouldn't use their own kindness against me. Manipulative. Bye, man. Like, I literally went and helped you the whole day, hung out with you, made sure you were safe. And I did say that in the call, all the way out there to hang out with you. And you literally in your message say, I have the friends that I do. So I do think it's weird. And now you're saying that I'm using that because you're for manipulation. You're using that you have a stalker for manipulation. You're using this to try to guilt me. You're using this to try to make me feel